Hey, this is Craig Seymour. I'm a writer, and what you're about to hear is audio of my interview with Janet Jackson for a September 2006 Vibe magazine cover story. And I know you want to get right to the interview, but I just wanted to say a few things to give you some context about what was going on. It took place in June 2006 on a private plane from Miami to New York. And I'm mentioning that only because you can hear a lot of the plane noise on the tape, especially at the beginning when we were taking off. But the sound gets a lot better as the tape goes on and the plane levels off. And just to give you a little bit context about my relationship with Janet, I had interviewed her before for a 2001 Vibe cover story right before the release of All For You. So this was our second time talking. And if you want to know more about that interview, you can check out my memoir, which is called All I Could Bear. And so here's a little bit about where Janet was in her life at the time of the interview. She was just about to release her album 20YO. And this also marked the 20th anniversary of her breakthrough album, Control. She was in a relationship with producer Jermaine Dupri, and they had been together for about 4 years at that point. Of course, they've since broken up, but she was really happy in the relationship at the time. So that was making her, that was definitely putting her in a great mood. But she was also going through some challenges. She was still facing backlash from the 2004 Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction incident. And her brother Michael had just gone through a second child molestation trial the year before. And the only stipulation of the interview was that I could not ask her about the Super Bowl incident, and I also couldn't ask her any questions about Michael. And then lastly, about a year before the interview, that's when she had gained a lot of weight, and the pictures of her being heavy were all in the tabloids and everything. So that was all kind of some of the larger context for the interview. So with that said, I really hope you enjoy it.
It's not working out. Okay.
So wait, time out. I'm sorry.
Why don't you pull one?
I sure will.
Okay. Hold on. That's the newer one.
Where's the microphone at?
I don't even know. Right here. And then, so it's on normal thing, normal. Alright. We'll say something just so let's test it.
Something. How's that?
Okay. Let's say something this one. Okay. I've been screwed. Okay. That'll be yours. So JD told me the first question I should ask you is where he wants to know where your head was at. Where's your head at?
Why does he want to know that?
Oh, that was just your man, I'm not.
That's why he should know where my head's at.
Once he said I should ask you where your head's at.
Where my head is at this very moment?
Where's your head at, Janet? I didn't ask the question.
At 7:30 at night, in the air.
Where's your head about? Where's your head about what do you want now? You've had so many accomplishments. What do you want?
I want more of what I have, what I've had.
Okay, like what? Meaning
more out of love, life, music. I'm in a really great space.
Okay. You can't give me these looks because I can't capture that on frame.
And sucking my teeth. See, I got that from me. I just sucked my teeth like you did.
Like don't insult the interviewer. I do that all the time. I don't realize it.
Well, people tell me I roll my eyes.
Yeah, people tell me that.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it either. And more than one person said, I was like, oh my God, I really do roll my eyes then.
It's not working.
The most important thing, one of the most important things I have to say in life for me has always been love.
Like if you get like a 7,
and it drives me. And yeah, I thought you would say it drives you crazy. It can.
So what's different about love now than it has been in the past?
Always you're willing. See, those the statistics say.
I really see that it's unconditional.
Okay. In this relationship here now.
Yeah, I really see that I'm surrounded by it. More so than I've ever seen it before.
Do you think you had unconditional love in the past and you didn't?
You may be told it.
Reach up less. much or less there?
You don't quite feel it,
Okay.
How many green was that?
and there are moments you may feel it, and then other moments you don't feel it.
Okay.
So I think there's a, a little...
Inherently makes it conditional, right?
What you say?
Which makes it conditional if you don't feel it all the time.
Right. So this is the first time in my life that I feel it. I really feel it 24/7.
Why? Like what? You know what I mean? Like what makes you, was there a moment where you felt like, wow, I've never felt, like the Stephanie Mills song, Never Do Love Like This Before. Like was there a moment where you're like, wow, I've never felt like this before?
I can't say it was a moment.
Okay.
I can say there were moments.
What would be an example?
Ooh, you are so wrong. You want me to give you?
One example that you wouldn't mind sharing with the world.
But see, that's the whole thing. I don't know if I really would want to share that because that is such a, it's just real precious to me because of really feeling that I have it finally.
You feel more protective of it than
ever before. And we could talk about certain things, but
yours it is.
nothing. It's so easy.
So talk about certain things.
Well, ask me.
What do you want me to ask you?
Not yet.
I don't know. Ask me something. Not that ask me something good. Not that it's been bad. No, but it is. It's unconditional, and it's an incredible feeling. And
Give me something specific that he does that makes you feel loved. That might even be a small thing, like something specific that a name or just something he does.
he makes me feel good about me, about being who I am. And I know that that's something that is supposed to come. It starts from within. That's it. To be truly grounded, you have to give that to yourself. I know that, but there are times when you also need a little bit of a boost here and there.
Is it because, like, like, I imagine, like, you're like the one-woman industry, you're your own show, you're like a travel show, So I can imagine at times that would feel very alone. But, you have all these people depend on you, you have all these people, you have to get out there and work and do your thing in order for other people to get paid, in order for other people to, do what they do. So I can just imagine that could feel really lonely, so I imagine that you might need somebody to feel like you could just kind of like lay your burdens upon, or somebody to make you feel safe.
And he does that. He does make me feel safe, and I believe I do the same for him. It's like, after having such a hard day, be it good or bad, just the voice that you want to hear on the other end of the phone, or the face you want to see at the end of a long day, it just makes everything in life okay, regardless of how bad the day was or how good it was. It's going to be all right. Thank you so much.
The next time he goes around, let's stop for $2.
Certain things he's done that I just...
Give us
Right now, they pay us for $1.
Okay,
He makes me feel even good about my body. I don't care what size I am.
you know what he said about that?
Okay, yes.
Now,
Tell
for me
me.
to continue.
Now, here's a new, he's whipping out the blue notes.
First, I'm trying something new. I'm trying, because usually I have like a notepad and I'm always flipping through stuff. I'm comfortable with that. I'm trying to be slick about it. He said,
You starting, you can say, how much check? I look at your lot, she's not saying, she don't have, we'll get
Because I've interviewed him in the studio before, and he was much. I've never been that talkative. He was. That was in the 3 hours. You're like, but
Alright, ready? Alright, so we got, everybody's got to put one in. Before time starts.
Because I was just asking about like weight and stuff like that, right? So he said, women have the hardest lives. Guys stop messing with them if they gain weight. But guys drink beer, get a big gut and all puffed up, and they expect a woman to just deal with it. And he was saying that,
Now you look at your card.
either you're going to be with a person or you're not, and it shouldn't matter.
Now, it's
what
on
size
you.
they are.
No,
That's How does that make you feel to hear that?
It goes right along with the smile that you saw on my face before I told you, if you saw the smile, because I was smiling.
Okay.
When did you get the line? Yeah, when did you get it? No, not yet. After we all...
Okay, a story. When he,
right now you can say...
when I was at my heaviest,
You don't want to bet?
he would...
I'll bet.
There are moments when he's probably going to kill me today. I'm telling you this. There are moments when he would, like, grab anything that was hanging over
No, not yet.
and look me right in my eye and tell me that he loves me and that this needs love too, and kiss me. And he would do that all the time.
That's great.
And I've never had anyone ever do that to me.
Has weight been an issue like in the past? I mean, have you yourself feel
I got teased a lot by certain members of my family when I was a kid, and I was made to feel that I was heavy, but looking back on it, I wasn't heavy. And when I talk with certain members of my family, they tell me, well, and my booty, but just period, just all over. But when I think back and we look back on pictures, and they say, you know what, you weren't heavy, but I was made to always feel that I was heavy, and I always got teased about it, or to be told, this is what you should look like, or your butt is too big, and it should look like this person over here. Well, that's not the race that I am.
in your ballet class or something like that?
Well, yes, I told you about that, but even with my own family.
You can check also.
Your sister's a very...
Well, she's got a, well, yes, but even about just having a behind, and I know and there's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of sisters that butts are way bigger than mine, and there's some that are smaller than mine, but
She has to give it up.
Your butt?
Yeah. Can't wait.
yes, I do. But I really have grown a true appreciation for it because of my boyfriend.
Okay. So you're saying he likes your butt?
I guess he does.
Do you feel different, like, you know...
He better love my ass. What do you mean, like my butt? He better love my ass. Like my butt.
Does he have a favorite? Does he have like a favorite? Like you're with somebody and you know, like you can do something or show them something, and that's the thing that's gonna drive you crazy. Like, is there a certain, you know, that you can show and you know it's gonna get him in the mood?
I think everybody has that in a relationship, don't you? Yeah, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you.
I don't ask questions. You're like, ask me questions.
But see, that's too much.
I have no investment. I'm just asking. Say what you want to say. I'm curious, like, do you feel different, like, in terms of just your sexual, like, how you feel sexually, if you're heavy or if you're thinner, like, do you feel more? Because I know some people say we're more weighty, like, more sexy and stuff like that, but other people are more uncomfortable, so maybe they tell me. Does your libido change, or your sex drive, or your sexiness change when you're weight?
Well, I should say this. I have to go back with a different relationship because in the past it had changed. And granted, I'm going through time periods in my life. That's why I'm pausing with you. When I was younger, I did fame. People thought I was pregnant because I had gained weight, and there was a reason why I had gained weight. I wasn't pregnant. I was married at the time.
I did that because it was fun.
Ever since then, I started yo-yoing a little bit, and then there's what I call the fighting weight, like a boxer ready for a fight, and then your downtime. When you're not on tour, when you're just your downtime. And this last time, it being for the film, which was the most that it had ever been in my life. I didn't recognize me in the mirror. Things were different for me. The way I moved. No, thank you. I couldn't get around as easy. I couldn't, and I felt smaller inside because some of the things I tried to do, but I realized, wait a minute, you can't do that. There's a little extra goods on you.
Was sex different? Like, is sex different?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
And that was a difference for me. That nothing, that's the thing, nothing changed.
Wow.
Nothing changed. And I had never experienced that before.
You know, like every time you're in a relationship, I think,
you don't want money for one stay in the game.
I don't know, I mean, one of the things that I kind of like about, I don't know, I think like long-term relationships can bring a lot to your life. But then I also feel like every relationship you're in, you also learn more about yourself.
Right.
Kind of an interesting tension there, I think. But you know, I always like having a new relationship, whether it's just like a sex thing, just like a one-night stand, or some kind of like more of an long-term relationship. Because I feel like every time I connect intimately with somebody, I learn something different about myself. You know, and I'm like, it's almost like a new part of me that can be awakened or something. You know, you talk about like how important sex is in your life. Have you learned something new about yourself sexually in this relationship, or have you found a certain part opened up or revved up, or
That's it.
Way more open. And I know that probably sounds crazy because
I think what's the biblical idea?
even what you talked about in the past?
right, but it's even more so. And
That's very weak there. King and ace. You got
I mean, he's. I was gonna say he's taken me places that I haven't been before, but he has, and it's way more open than it's ever been. I just have never experienced a relationship like this.
No matter.
You talked about before, you said that sometimes like that your sex drive has actually been a problem in a relationship because you might be more demanding and more like, are you on an even page here? Or like what?
I found, you know what? It's so weird because when he and I would just hang out, it's like I was in his mind, or he was in mind, I should say. He would share some of his innermost thoughts, and I wouldn't say anything, but my jaw would drop inside, because I could not believe he had just said that, because that's a thought, exact thought, that I had, but never shared with anybody. And it wasn't just once, it happens a lot. And I never say anything to him. Well, I never said at the time anything to him, and finally I started telling him, remember when you said this? I've had the exact same thought since I was whatever, and I've never shared it with anybody, and you're the first. So it's happened several times like that. So I feel like I've met my match. I feel like somebody is we're on the same plane.
The first time you went, that was okay.
He said that one of the things that he felt about you too, he said like you were always like that. What do you think he meant by that?
I think what I'm saying right now, a lot of people, I really feel that, which I really don't care what people think, because in the beginning of that, a lot of people had a lot of comments and a lot of thoughts about this relationship.
When you heard those things, people would insult him.
Of course it hurt. You know, but they didn't get it, and I didn't expect them to get it, because they didn't know they don't know me, and they obviously don't know him. It's just what they see, the perception, what they're looking at. They don't know either one of us, and I couldn't have met anyone that's more like me than Jermaine.
Wow. Well, give us some adjectives, like give us some descriptions of the way.
Oh, I'm the.
You're a songwriter, so you can go.
No, don't, because I'm horrible when it comes to stuff like that.
Describe
No,
your connection.
honestly, no, because I'm bad when it comes to stuff like that. I am.
Is there a love song that you feel like represents your connection or represents your relationship, like a song either that you've written or just that's out there in the world, like a song that you feel like that really sums up your connection?
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Okay, moving on.
But But honestly, I really feel that I can say it is in every way. We and I
Or you can just fold. Or you can fold. Since I'm at the game.
are like 100% on the same
Do you
plane.
have any more left?
Yeah.
Okay.
And granted, we're gonna still have a little bit of he's a guy, I'm a girl, you know. But I really do feel like God has let me experience all those other relationships and go through certain things in life because He was preparing me and prepping me for Jermaine. And I feel the same with him. And I'm happy I went through it because it was all worth it. If this is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I got mine.
Wow.
And that's the way I feel about it.
You know, one thing he also said was that he felt, let's just make sure we're safe and I'm paranoid.
See, I hate saying things because I'm such a corny sounding person talking about a pot of
Never did it.
gold.
Let me just see.
My little pot of gold.
Imagine
He also said that he felt,
Yeah, like if you're going in a row, they all have to be.
he also said that he felt like one thing that he felt like what did, I don't know what I asked, but anyway, the alternative he answered was that he felt like you really helped him with his family relationship.
7, 8, 9.
Like, he felt like he didn't, I don't know, there was some things that he didn't get about dealing with family members or something like that, and you really helped him. Like, what do you feel like he was talking about with that?
I think exactly what he said. He always tells me that I'm his therapist. And but you know, to me, that's what relationships are about. You're there to you're to be there for one another, whatever the case is. And we sit and we'll talk for a long time when he has the time, or because he's always so busy.
Right.
But when something is really on his mind, or even on mine. Yeah, they made it warmer in here. I sit and I talk to him about, or when he talks to me, we have our conversations about whatever. And that's the other thing that I love. We can talk about everything under the sun, everything.
So what was the, because, you know, like you said, any relationship, you know, just two people dealing with each other, there's always going to be some kind of getting to know you, like, what was the thing about his lifestyle that was hardest for you to get used to?
Well, does this fall under lifestyle? I don't, well, the hardest thing is the living in two different states.
Okay, because you're still in LA,
Well,
or in New York, or...
yeah, but I had to move back to LA just to do the album, so I don't know what I'm going to actually do there, but that was the hardest thing for me, because I had never been in an out-of-state relationship before, and that was tough, and as hard as he works, and then with me working and us trying to see each other when we could, it was really difficult. That was difficult for me.
Always up here. My dad had these, and I had my let me stay in.
Was that too much? You know, they say I ate tuna a lot, and they say that the mercury affects your memory. And stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So like, if I have a tuna moment. But
No, that time was after that.
I know the JD's out at the strip club and all that kind of stuff. Like that, does that bother you?
No.
That's for some women grinding all up on it.
Not at all.
Why?
You know what? Because first of all, that's something he did before me. I wouldn't want him to stop. Why should I'm not here to try and change him. I love him for who he is, and he takes me with him.
Okay, so on the, and
No, is there a line? Would it become uncomfortable, like, do you have certain rules, but, you know.
Well, as far as what do you mean?
Just being at the strip club, you know, getting a lap, like, it's okay if you have a lap dance, okay if you...
Well, I don't think he's going to sit there and get a lap dance in front of me.
Okay.
Even though he did do something to me and I could not. I had a very, very intimate birthday party a few years back, a surprise party, and this guy is asking me about something with my drink, and I said no thank you, and I turned back around, and sure enough, he pulls my chair around, and it's a stripper. Well, family members were there, and my family doesn't come from that world. So they were very embarrassed. And he's sitting there and he's watching this guy with his balls right here in my face.
Oh, he had it out?
Oh, yeah, he was, no. He didn't have it out. We weren't in Atlanta. We were in LA. So, but they were...
So you've been to places in Atlanta where they have a when you were
No, I haven't, but a friend of mine was actually engaged at one moment, and I gave her...
Oh, party.
And it was in Atlanta that I gave her the party, so we've experienced that.
So do you have any good stripper moves? Like, what's your best stripper move?
No, I don't.
You've done like the little lap dance things in concert?
Oh, stop it! I don't.
So you don't dance for them?
What? You are really embarrassing me. Yeah, but see, once again, that's personal. Have I? Yeah.
Do you like it?
I love it because I know he loves it.
So if you were
And I enjoy it.
What
No.
would your name be?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. But to go back, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. And
What's so bad? I got 6 or 7.
in the past, it probably would have. I know it would have. In my younger years, it would have. But it doesn't bother me at all with Jimmy, and it never. I think I'm just in a different. I'm not just think. I'm in a different space. I'm in a different head. You grow older. It's a different relationship. It's the love that I get is different.
So do you feel like you kind of can give somebody more space because they give you more? Like,
They're just prepping him for me anyway for when he comes. They're prepping him for me anyway when he comes. They're prepping him for me anyway when he comes home. So.
No, you're right.
Is monogamy important for you in a relationship?
Okay, you're out.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
I wouldn't want to share him with anyone else.
No, not gonna wait.
That's the question that's going to embarrass you. I'm just going to ask you. Did you want me to? Did you want me to ask her?
Well, you can ask it. Doesn't mean I have to answer it.
You don't have to do anything you want to. But okay, but if you had to describe you all as a couple, would you say that you were a toys couple?
A what couple?
Toys couple? A making movies couple? Or an all in public couple?
No, yeah, I warmed it. She's out.
Can I?
What?
No. Can I would. I want to say all of the above. I really do.
Do you want to say that? Is that the truth?
See, I'm trying to be careful with you because I'm trying not to go too deep here.
I mean, if you say something and then you immediately tell me you don't want me to do it, I'm not going to hit up with you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Don't feel like you have to defend me. While we're right here, that's fine. And, I mean, like I said, I'm a grown ass man. I'll ask anything. You know what I'm saying?
all of the above.
Where do we go next?
That's really personal.
You don't win all of it.
That's really personal.
All the stuff you talked about on your album.
Yeah, but that's my album. You know why? Because that has to that has to do more so with me. But now I feel like now I'm talking about myself and someone else. So let me think about. I might ask you not to mention that. But
how many plays were you all out?
But see, that's
I gotta
me.
be a jack. I got
I'm
using
talking
the
about.
vibrator on Velvet Room. Whatever. It's your album, it's not mine.
Yeah, but see, that's me. But now there's someone else that I think about, and that's Jermaine.
I gotta say, protect like a straight club, you know, old clubs.
I love him. Of course I am.
That's good to hear, because I'm one of those people that's totally sour in love right now. It's good to hear somebody just,
Oh, bless your heart.
Do you have a favorite song of his?
Of his?
What's your favorite song that he just done with Mariah? What's your favorite JD Mariah?
He had two pairs. He had King of the Five. He said the two pairs. Right. No, I feel that whole same shit. We're not playing off of this right here. We're playing off of this.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
What's one you really like?
Two pairs. Yes. And
I love We Belong Together.
Why?
I just love what it's saying. I think everybody can relate to that at some point in their life. I think.
Writing the stuff that he's obviously in a relationship with you, do you feel like that informs the writing? Do you feel like do you hear him kind of talking to you when you hear like Mariah sing a song? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, conversations that we have, and the next thing I'll listen to a song and I'll hear a line.
like what? Give me an example.
No, I'm not going to give you an example. I'm not going to give you an example. But I do. Or he'll just tell me. And he'll play me something or tell me that I wrote this song about you. Or I wrote this song for you. And he'll play it for me and it'll be on a certain artist's album. And see, and one that I want to mention to you, I can't even think of the name of it right now, and that's awful. I can't hum it.
Give me a few lyrics.
so this game costs. Yeah.
Give us a guy or a girl.
It's a group. It's a group. But I don't see. I feel like
Check it out.
I'm not telling you anymore because you know why? Once again, I think it's a fine line. I think
I respect that.
because I don't mind talking about certain things, but I still want
I put 4 inches with mine. I give it 4 minutes.
for us to keep something to us.
You have to.
And I think that's important. And nobody else will probably know that this song was written for me or about me, but I know, and he knows.
And it's your little secret.
It's our little secret. That's why the all of above might be the three of our little secrets. So.
Do you think that's going to surprise anybody? If everybody just
I
asked the question
don't
about
think it's going to surprise anybody, but I just, honestly, because Jermaine is such a shy person at times, and I just don't want him to be embarrassed. And that's my thing. So you have to let me think about that.
Do you trust that I'll do that?
I'm sorry?
I said, do you trust that I do that?
Yes, I do.
Do you ever feel like, now obviously you're kind of coming back with a new album and stuff, and it's always hard for an artist to get back on radio and what have you. Like, do you ever feel trapped by people's perceptions of you? Because like I'm coming all in here, I want a house song. You've always done the house song. Somebody else wants Control, Eric Janet. Somebody else wants Velvet Rope, Eric Janet. Like you have so many expectations. Is it hard to come back out with all of those expectations?
I don't think you could go in with that. I think if you go in with that, it's going to really screw you up. And you'll accomplish a bunch of nothing. You have to go in doing what it is that you want to do, what you're feeling. And for myself, it's that moment, that mood. What you want to express at that time. And that's...
Where's your head at? I did kind of answer you. Didn't I say what drives me is love? Oh, that's true. Okay.
Well, you heard you heard some of those songs on the album. Where do you think my head is?
So how is your head? Where's your head now different from like for Jamita Joe? Like where were you at in Jamita Joe? Because I feel like All For You was kind of like your single album, right? Like you're like, I'm single, yeah. And then one down.
Jamita Joe. A lot of different sides to me. And that's what that album was about, trying to express those different characters within me.
Okay.
No, we just live and see Atlanta.
This is only about
I got all together, right? Well, no, you and Chris.
how I'm feeling about love, and
No, but I mean, she's got
it's
money.
sensual at times,
Well,
and
you had a pair of
So this is kind of the Jermaine album, I guess.
so see, I was because you sit there and you just straight out say it, and I'm trying not to say that.
The truth.
That's what it does. Is that what it sounds like?
That's what it sounds like you were saying. I mean, it sounds like, you know, basically, like the show was about expressing different sides of yourself and stuff like that, where this is more about where you are now.
Well, I always, like I've told you before, I write about my life experiences, and this is where I am right now. But it's beyond that too, because it's taking from the past as well. Not the past in terms of. I'm trying to think of some of the songs on the album to make sure I'm not sitting up here telling the lie.
We're taking a chance on it.
Musically, more so than anything, from the past and coupling that with the new. That's why it's titled 20 Years Old. Being the anniversary for myself, Jimmy and Terry, but also music from 20 years ago and 25 years ago that I enjoyed listening to, that songs that may have moved me, and wanted to take those and use them as samples, like Kraftwerk.
Rocket song. That's your favorite one.
Why is this better?
It's I smile, or you?
No, you smile.
I did. You know why? Because never mind.
No, say it.
No.
Now, what were you going to say?
No, this one.
I just miss dancing. I love the song, but I miss dancing, and it makes me want to dance.
Yeah. That's what he said. Like, he said you're in the mood to dance, but radio, unfortunately, is not.
Right. That's where I am, because I'm in the mood to dance. And where radio is, it's a little bit slower of a dance, which is okay with me. That's totally fine with me too.
Do you know how to snap? Do you know how to do the Atlanta snap in?
There you go, I like it.
I've never really tried it. I've watched it. No, honestly, but I saw my brother Jackie. The song was on, and I think it was Lean With It, Rock With It, and he just broke out in the dance, and I just started smiling. He does it well. Does it very well.
You know, I guess what I felt listening to the album, and I already told you my 3 favorite songs, right? I think. With You.
Yes.
These are ones I want on the US album. I don't want to have to track down the Japanese bonus track. So With You.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay.
And Do It To Me or something.
Do It To Me.
Those are the 3 that I love. I mean, I thought everything was great.
But those are the ones that really captured your heart.
And With You, I think you're like, because you know what I think it is? I feel like it's a very sweet album. I don't think it's been very sweet
In a long time.
In a long time. And that was such a part of, because I was listening to like stuff on my iPod today, and it was like, that was kind of different. It was a harder edge to some of your stuff more recently.
Well, I guess that's also getting back to that 20 years old kind of. And you were talking about With You. I love With You. It reminds me of, like I said last night, it reminds me of Let's Wait a While, but Jermaine said to you, that was before they fucked. Well, she's got a little taste of it, I suppose, and now she just doesn't want to let him go. It's really the feeling behind that song, but she has someone else in her life that she has to go to, so she has to let him go.
What advice would you give somebody, like if somebody was talking to you, let's say one of your girlfriends was talking to you, she's like, hey Janet, I met this guy, I feel like he's my soulmate and stuff, I haven't talked to him yet, do you think I should or not? What do you think I should, how will I know when it's time? What would you say?
For me, it's about having to feel that moment. For me, it's about having to feel that moment. It's like you say, how will you know when it's time? It'll arrive, and you'll feel that moment. It'll be a special.
Chris, you play.
It'll happen. It'll show itself to you.
I would say about 95% right.
Just like, and this is kind of a little different, but it's way different. But a friend said to me one time, because I was in a relationship and we were talking, she goes, "You're not through. You're not done. You haven't had enough. You haven't put up with enough yet." Even though I was fed up, at least I said I was. She said, "You're not done." She said, "You'll know when you're done." And that's been years ago, and I'll never forget when she said that to me, because I knew when I was done. So it's like when that moment happens, you know when it shows its face to you, and when you're ready for it not being pushed upon you, you're not feeling like you're being coerced into doing something that you're really not feeling at that moment.
Maybe my little cars allow me to switch around more. You can just talk randomly if you want. Anything else you want to say?
No, because I get embarrassed with you. I don't know.
Is it something I'm doing?
No.
Let's talk about acting.
Sure, if you want.
One thing he was saying, he was like, he was also saying, I mean, I didn't know this too, he was like, Janet also, she really wants to act. Like, that's her thing. Saying the same that you said if you were going to both film Tennessee, that you weren't going to be able to really see him for like 5 or 6 months.
He told you that.
But
He told you. No, I'm just saying I wasn't going to see him
I
for...
get people to talk to. Other people talk, but I have to.
Ooh, that's so wrong. He wasn't going to see me for about 2 months, and he wasn't very happy with that.
So that fell through just because of timing? Just because...
You gotta do the thing.
I really tried to make it work. They wanted to push it back, and I couldn't, because I was actually still doing my album at that time, and the sooner the better for me to do the film so I could finish the album. And when he wound up not being able to, had to change the shooting date, because he needed to be on set. Everybody else was ready to go, but something he had to do, the producer, and he wanted to be on set. He's always on set when he's shooting his films, and he wouldn't be there for the shoot, so he needed to push it back, and I tried to make it work, and it just...
So why did you feel you had to gain so much back for the role? I can't imagine Mariah's not gaining a lot of weight for the role.
I don't know. And I said that to somebody else. I said, I will be very curious to see if she will be into doing that. But
Never lie. That's why he's laughing. Like his face gave up.
it depends on where she wants to take the character. I saw her one way. She may see her completely another way.
Are you still trying out for films? Like I remember last time we talked, I think you had tried out for Jerry Maguire and you had gotten it, but they told you, but then they felt like, I guess Cameron Crowe felt he couldn't suspend an audience when he was
Yeah, to separate.
forced him to tell you that was the real reason and it wasn't because of, are you still trying out for things?
Lately it's truly been about my music. I've got 3 scripts in my bag now. One of them I just finished reading, and the other 2 I have to read. So it's still a passion of mine, and something that I would love to do. But your life changes, and as you get older, there are things that become more important to you, and certain things that start taking a back seat to those other things. So
Priority now.
you have a lot of nerve. The priority right now is this album and the tour, and I have to see where it goes from there, because I would love to do another film.
I thought this was so cute. You said this when you were 11. You said, I would really like to be a movie star. I want to do a film that would be very dramatic. I think I like drama a little bit more than comedy. It seemed like, and back then you weren't even talking about music,
Well, that's where my heart, it still lies, and back then I guess it showed itself. I don't even remember saying that.
And then I think on part of your CBS bio from the Jackson Variety Show, you said, I guess it said what's your goal? And you said, I'd one day like to be a movie star.
Really? I wanted to go to school and support myself through acting, and then become this actress and go to New York and live and study and it's really weird how your life will change.
For as much as you accomplished, do you ever miss that life? Like, if you were like, not like you would be a struggling actress in New York, but just living that kind of life and trying to, you know.
I mean, I don't know what would have become of it. Especially, someone asked me the other day, you know, because 3 friends of mine, including, yeah, 2 friends of mine, including Kim Fields, we all had said, oh, we're going to go to Pepperdine University. She's the only one that went. I didn't make it there. And we haven't spoken in so long, and the last time I spoke to her, we talked about that. But thinking about that whole dorm life and to experience that, and what would that have been like for me, and coming from the place that I did, and from the family that I did, and being so sheltered, and what kind of person would I be today if I had experienced that and not what I have experienced? It just makes me wonder.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, because you talk about just looking back at periods of your life, and of course, you had an incredible growth period, you know, during Control, but it seems like the biggest shift in your life was when you were making Poetic Justice in the course of the film. Is that true? Like, is that...
The biggest shift in my life, and
Just how you developed, it seemed like you really came out of your...
I started to then.
Cursing every 5 minutes.
You don't forget a thing, do you? You don't forget anything. Well, I mean, I have to thank John Singleton for that, and working with Pac and Regina and Joe. It was a great experience for me.
Do you think your obstacles in Hollywood have more to do with you being a singer or you being a sister?
I think it all depends upon the time period you're talking about. I think as of recent, I would say being a sister.
Okay, why?
Because they've straight out told me that at times.
Like what?
I'll give you an example, and this was back then. I was going to do something with a soft drink during the Janet album, and the contract was done. We were getting ready to sign, and then the first molestation allegation came about, and they said, well, we think we might want to hold off on this. It's like, okay, we're 2 different people. Exactly. That has nothing to do with me. We're 2 different, so why should that filter into, but that's why. And not that I ever blamed him for it or said it was his fault in any way, because it wasn't. But a lot of times people see us as one. See everybody in my family as... That's it? I thought there was...
What was the last bit?
I thought that was so moving. That was the one where you, like, I guess, I think you open your concert and you just ask everybody to say a prayer for him and something.
Yeah, after a couple of songs I did. Yeah.
But, like, I was wondering just, like, what troubles you've gone through in the last couple of years and stuff. Like, do you feel, like, a new understanding of what he's been going through for all these years? Just sort of, like...
Well, of course you do. And still, of course, it's tough as nails. And I got a little taste of it, you know?
But so do you feel like there's just not enough roles out there for black women? Or like,
Of course there aren't. There aren't a lot of roles, and I think, you know, maybe we need to create our own.
I was talking to somebody about that. I don't know why. I was like in Atlanta after, I think it was like right after I talked to Jermaine, and I was like, well, you know, Janet really wants to act. And she was like, well, Janet has all this money. Why doesn't she just, you know, buy her own this, or get her own production company, or hire a director? Why doesn't she just...
Because see, sometimes you don't want to do that either. And see, and then sometimes if you're that crazy about the passion, have that much of a passion for it, you will do that. And I'm a really impatient person, and that's awful. And I sit and think, if I would have developed that idea back then, but it done, what?
The Dorothy Dandridge?
No, I'm just saying in general. It would have been developed, done, movie shot, on to the next project. So, because time flies so quickly, but when I'm in it, I'm going, this is going to take too long. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to develop it. But as you get older,
so fast.
Exactly, but as I've gotten older, starting to swing more that way. And I'm still impatient, but it's a process that I'm entertaining more and talking about it. I'm enjoying the oh, I'm sorry. I'm enjoying the evolution of it, and just with coming up with certain ideas, and I have been.
What type of role would you want to play? What would be your ideal?
I would love to do something that would be incredibly dramatic and just the antithesis of, I guess, who people think I am, which is probably who I am.
Which is what? No, which is probably who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question.
No, I'm waiting.
Would you rather win an Oscar or have an album that outsold Legend?
Win an Oscar.
I know you had said in the past that you would love to have an album that outsold.
Yes.
You'd rather.
Can I have both though?
No.
I can't have both?
You can have both in real life, but not for the purpose of this question.
I would
I hope you have both in real life.
win an Oscar.
Okay. So.
It's just a passion.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the thing is, a lot of times.
What would your acceptance speech be like?
You'll pick up bad habits here, like.
Honestly, I think I would be so nervous. I really do think I would be very nervous.
Yeah. Like, if you're doing money, you gotta throw
Yeah. So what would you want to say? Because that's your opportunity to really say something. What would you say?
I don't know. It'd have to be in the moment, I suppose. I don't know what I would say, but I know I would be in disbelief for one.
One of the things I know that you were passionate about, I guess with that Lena Horne miniseries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you talk to her at all at the Legends thing, at Oprah's Legends thing?
She wasn't there.
Oh, she wasn't there.
From what I know, she's very ill,
Okay.
and she was not there. So
No, I just with her. She's not looking at my face, so I'm thinking, no.
Should I ask you next?
You have them.
Right. Yeah.
What?
nothing.
What's behind it? I cannot read your looks.
Are you too warm? You want me to tell her to turn it down? I'm gonna take this. You see how I spoke into that before I put it down, like I'm doing right now? And I know I said I'm going to take this off.
Oh, okay.
I'm out. He does do that. Why? Well,
I don't know what the name of the dance is. What's that dance? That motorcycle? Oh, you don't know.
I'll be like, okay, I'll just snatch it.
Okay, I have tried the thing with it. Yes, I have.
Your dancer.
What?
Your dancer with you.
They're adorable.
I want some scenes, I want some shirtless scenes and videos and on tour.
You do?
What was the guy with the little cohawk?
Oh, that's Blake. He's a beautiful dancer.
So you know what to do.
Okay. I'll try to hook you up. Or in the tour or something. We'll figure it out.
I was reading the Control liner notes, and you wrote about your mother. You said, "Special thanks to Mother for loving me and sticking by my side through this project, no matter what it was I decided to do." I wonder what you meant by that. So you talked about a lot about how your father felt, with the decision to go to Minneapolis and all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
comfortable with it and blah blah blah. But what did you mean by this was your
That was a tough time for my mother too, because I had moved out of the house and she wanted me to move back home, and I had done that, and it was hard for her to let me go. She was crying when I did, and I know she wanted me to do certain things, take a certain path in life that I didn't take.
Like what?
Religion-wise.
Okay.
And even though I thank God for it, it was a great foundation. Great foundation. But it's just not for me at this moment what their belief is. At least not at this moment in my life.
How many of your brothers is like Rebe?
She's a witness, and my mother. But I have cousins, and my grandparents were, and my father used, years and years and years ago, my father used to study.
Now I've always wanted to ask you, it's like, most of the times we see you with your family, like through some times of trouble and stuff like that. I was wondering, like, what do you feel like are the most positive things that your family brings to your life?
Love, comfort when I need it. I get beside myself when I'm with my family, when we're all together, because it's not easy to get us all together. So I'm just beaming with joy. It's just, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And obviously we will sit there and we'll all eat together, but there's so many of us. Some of us will be in the room over here, and you're wondering, where's so-and-so? And you'll wind up finding out that they're in the room playing music, just fiddling around, fooling around, creating stuff, having a good time, laughing, while others are over here and we're all playing a game in this room over here.
Okay. What types of games do you play? What types of games does Jackson play?
We love Pictionary. It's about what types of games does my mother like, and that's what the Jackson family likes.
And you said she's very competitive at what?
Incredibly, at everything, everything. That's where our competitive edge, well, it comes from both of our parents. But my mother, she's ruthless. Tony, my trainer, will tell you, they play Scrabble, cards, everything together, and he calls them the Golden Girls. She and one of her best friends, she's been friends with for years. And he says that she cheats, but she pinches him under the table because she gets so upset when he starts to win. She's very competitive. We play cards, we play Pictionary.
And what's on the menu?
We normally, well, for Thanksgiving we'll have, we get together, I should say, on Thanksgiving, because that's the day that everything shuts down. So that's one day that we've been able to get together. Nobody's working, so we can all, we'll have our turkey and all that, and the candied yams.
Do you cook? No, you can't cook. Can you?
You know, it's so funny, everybody thinks none of my sisters can cook. All of my sisters. The one thing that I love about the way our parents raised us was that my mother made sure that we were able to do everything.
Okay.
And I love that.
Is that your way of saying you can cook or not?
Yes, I do know how to cook.
What? What's your dish?
It's bad. It's not healthy. It's catfish and all that stuff.
Really fried catfish?
I love it. And hot water cornbread.
What do you season your catfish with?
I'm just curious. I season it with Lowry's.
You act like every question I'm asking you, like the most personal question on earth. We gotta talk about catfish. It's not that deep.
No, because I've never had anybody to
ask you about catfish.
No, I haven't. But it's bad for you, so I don't. And I would prefer to have a chef, because I don't like thinking about it. What am I going to eat? I'd rather for it to be just given to me.
Patience. So that's your own patience thing again.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Bible verses is count it all joy as you fall on various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith builds patience. I have a patience thing, you know. I think I get that tattoo.
Is that what that's what you're gonna do? You're thinking about it?
Not the whole phrase. I think I'm just gonna get count it all joy. I mean, I think it both reminds me of the phrase, and it also just reminds me of, like, you know, I think that we think of life as just this experience that we're supposed to have and that we're lucky to be having.
Right.
We should count everything as joy, the good and the bad.
Right.
To kind of remember that, you know. Anyway, what happened to the key that you swear in your ear?
Which one? The first one, the gold one?
I didn't know that was different. There was like an American Bandstand key and then
no, you didn't.
Rhythm Nation key.
No, you didn't. Yes, there is a Rhythm Nation key, and then there's a key that I wore before that.
That was like the key to a cage or something.
That's what that was. Yeah. So I don't know where that key is. It might be in my storage, but the Rhythm Nation key I still have.
Okay. So start rocking the key again?
I don't think so. But I think I saw one in Alicia's gear. On a performance that she did. I mean, well, Alicia Keys, Key.
What do you feel like, who do you feel like when you look out there, I mean, what do you feel like you've offered to the game? Like, what do you think that how do you think you have changed things for like other sisters in music that are coming up now?
I
What
think,
do you feel you've offered?
I hope I've made it easier for them. I hope, to accomplish their goals, to opening that door just a little bit wider for the next ones to come through, so that it's not as difficult as it was for me, and it was much easier for me than it was for the ones that came before me.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully they'll do the same. Hopefully until it's, just...
Well, okay, so when when you're getting your Legends tribute, whatever, what do you want to be said about you? Like when you're sitting there, and let's say like a Sierra or somebody like that, and they're reading a poem, like the Pearl Plague poem that you all read, like they're reading, like what kind of things do you want them to say?
I don't know. I don't. I'm awful at stuff like that.
As long as
I know you want to kick me out, right? Unlatch the door and throw me to my death. That's awful. Someone that will never be forgotten is really what I'd love to be. That will never, because, and I feel guilty too in saying this, because I feel I think it, then maybe I'm the one that to do something about it. I see when Elvis's birthday is celebrated, or when his death is celebrated. But then it pains me when I don't see Marvin Gaye's birth celebrated, which was the day he died. And that's our hero.
Yeah.
And he was a master. Period. And that's why I say I have to point the finger at myself as well. And not just Marvin Gaye, but there are so many, Sammy Davis Jr., there are so many others. And I think we need to change that.
Yeah.
Even if it's just as simple as on that day every year, some sort of a candlelight vigil, or for it to be made mention and in some sort of way. Just so, because those people were important to music and to life and to a movement and what they stood for. And I sometimes feel like they're almost, even though to a certain degree they'll never be forgotten, but the next generation, if you say, do you know who they are? I don't think they really would know, but if you ask them who Elvis is, they'd know who that is. It's the way that I feel.
Yeah, and I know every time, I just think of, David Ritz, of course, has brilliantly made the parallel between you and Marvin in terms of like your, so it's one of my favorite interviews. I just recently read it. But what was going through my mind? Are you talking to David for this album? He wrote interludes and stuff as well.
Yeah, he did. We've discussed it, so it may happen, it may not happen.
Oprah has said a lot that, people kind of root for you to a point. Like people generally want you to be successful, but then you might cross the line and become too successful, and then they are kind of like working against you. Have you found that in your own career? Like, have you seen that? Just like people wanted you to be a certain place, but it was like when you maybe were perceived to be stepping outside of boundaries, and like they kind of turned against you or something. It's okay if you don't. Oprah said it, not me.
When they're rooting for you, and once you get to a certain place, and they're pulling, yanking you, trying to, I think it's very true, and I think it happens to everyone. I think when you get to a certain level, it happens to everyone. If you get to that certain level, then you're not the underdog anymore to a lot of people, and they want to tear you down as quickly as they built you up.
So who do you feel you are at this point in your career? Do you think that you're the underdog? What are you? What do you represent to people?
of me feels like an underdog. I think because of just in the past few years, things that have a few chain of events that have happened, which I'm not going to get into.
Did I ask?
No, you didn't, but I'm just telling you.
Do you feel like people are rooting for you, or do you think people are like, you know, let's say like Mariah's come back, people are like, oh wait, she's over, and then she kind of like surprised. It's like I don't think a lot of people are rooting for her. I think people are really kind of like have written her off. Like, do you think people have written you off, or do you think people are like,
No, I don't
oh,
think.
I really hope Janet comes back?
I don't, and I felt so badly with that for Mariah because it's just so it's so cold and unfair. But I'm so happy that she still held her strength and her ground and kept herself together and showed them, look it, I'm not going anywhere. I don't think people feel that way about me. At least I think they're rooting for. I hope they're rooting for me. I hope they're rooting for me. I think they're rooting for me. It would not. It's, you know, no one wants anyone to feel like you're being written off. No one wants that. But I think they're rooting for me. I think there's a lot of anticipation about that project.
Right.
I think with them seeing a lot of the artists that are out today, and they see a great deal of similarities. I think that makes them want to root for me even more because they see where it originally stemmed from, and who was inspired by it, and it's nice.
Can I ask you a question since you brought something up and you can answer or not answer?
You can ask it.
I'm just curious. I really just, and the only reason I'm asking is because I just thought of it because you said it, like, because I think I understand, but like, you know, is the reason you don't want to talk about certain things because you don't want to be defined by it? Is it because you don't want to, like, to be interrogated about, like, the specifics anymore? It's because you feel like you've said your piece? Like, what's the reason behind why you don't want to bring it up anymore? You know what I mean?
It's just over and
understand all the three reasons.
it's just over and done with to me. It's old. It's past. It's history. And you know, you're onto something new. You've moved on from it. You know, however you might feel that okay, everybody got their licks in, whatever the case is for those that wanted to.
Right.
And it's, you know, it's done.
There. What?
Nothing. I'm just smiling.
That's another control question. Bro, with the 20 years old thing. See, I haven't wrote it down here. Like
I enjoy talking to you, though.
Enjoy talking to you.
You know what? I'll tell you this. This song,
Did you what?
yeah, that was hard for me to sing.
Really? Why?
Because the night I sang it, the following day, I was to go to my brother's ranch, and you have to forgive me because I can't remember the certain terms or. But that's and please forgive me. I can't think. That's where we were waiting on a daily basis for the verdict and the jury they were meeting, and it was nerve-wracking. Even though I knew in my heart what was, but still. Still, it made it difficult for me to sing because he was on my mind a great deal when I was singing that. And I don't even think Jimmy knows to this day, but I had cried in the studio while I was singing that song. Enjoy, and what it was just saying, and it reminded me of him. Especially, it was actually when I was doing the backgrounds, because I did the backgrounds first.
Okay.
And that's when I was, and the backgrounds reminded me, for some reason, of him.
Wow.
And I just so happened to be in a vocal booth that didn't have any windows. Didn't have a window, so you couldn't see the control
Right.
room. And I was crying while I was singing those backgrounds. And after everything was said and done, I came back and I did the leads.
Yeah, I mean, there was something about that song, like, I mean, because I really did like it all, like, really, and that's why, like, I don't really think you need to talk about the album that much, because I think the album speaks for itself, like, I think it's that good, but, like, those three songs, like, really, like, they reached in and grabbed me. Like, I mean, with you, like, the first word you say, like, I felt like I was, like, right in the moment with you, you know, it's just something that I enjoy, it just felt so, you know, I don't know, like, I just felt, and it's weird listening to music with somebody, like, you know, looking at, so it's weird having that experience, it's weird really being able to let yourself go and have that authentic experience, I really felt that with those three.
Good.
You know, like, we see pictures of you, like, you know, like at the trial, like, you know, you're all walking in, and it's like, I think it's fans and just as people that care about you and care about your family, like, we just kind of wonder, like, what's in your mind during that moment when you see you, like, going through the thing, you're wearing your black shades and your white coat, like, what's in your head? I'm actually really good with my water. Thanks.
I don't know if I can talk about this. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this actually.
Okay. I respect that.
Thank you.
You know, Rhythm Nation was such a powerful social statement, you know, and you felt like just like it seemed like you were just like overflowing with things to say about like, you know, things going on in society. And
Right.
stuff. And I'm wondering, like, obviously this album isn't that, but if you were to speak out, like, what are the issues that are on your mind now in terms of social issues?
I mean, the war concerns me a great deal. And that would probably be a chunk of it. The children in Africa, what's going on in Africa. And there's a lot going on in different parts. I mean, you have the kids that are starving over here. You have that whole, what part is it? It's help me with the city.
Professor, not I.
Ooh, you are awful. Where they're just constant. They're killing. I can't think of the name of the actual city where they're just killing the
They're
people.
getting like all the child soldiers and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, and it's awful. So it would be about that. I mean, I still in my heart want to at some point, and trying to get it together now, but it takes a great deal of time and a lot of thought. But I aside from wanting to do something more for children here than what I do, I want to do something for the people in Africa.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole AIDS epidemic, even over in Africa, and how they're dying. No, I'll eat it. Oh, okay. Thank you. You could take some of this down. Sorry? Can you mix it for me? Sure. And put a lot of pepper. I love a lot of pepper.
About 1/3 to 2/3.
Okay, that's fine.
What's your favorite video?
Of whose?
Yours.
I don't have just one. Just like I didn't want to answer the question about an Oscar over selling a ton of records.
You know one of my favorite.
Can't I have my way? Everybody says I'm spoiled in my family anyway. I want both. I want both, damn it.
Okay, fine. It sounded like I was watching, I guess, Diversion video compilation, you know? I love the Together Again remix video.
Oh, I don't. It was a different
The
video.
slow one.
Oh, you do?
I really do.
Oh, that's sweet.
I think, because I was thinking about it, like I was having this conversation with, like, I met this friend for coffee, like right after I talked to Jermaine. So like you being an actress was kind of like on my mind, you know? So we were having this conversation, she really liked you and Poetic Justice too. And so we were just like watching some of the videos to see which ones we thought were like, really show like an acting side. And so we were thinking that one. There's something you seem to really capture this emotion in that. And also like something about the Got Till It's Gone video too. Like you seem to really, there's something about like your expressions or something. You seem to, it's almost like it's a character. Like
Really?
It's not like it's you, you know?
You know what, I like 24 Play.
Yeah.
It was fun, because that was the
That's great, yeah.
last time I ever did a piece like that. And see, it's hard for me to just choose one, because I thought Scream was a great video too.
You can have this in the
You're a mess.
So you can think about it. One thing we talked about last time, like, I don't even know why we were talking about it or how it came up, but you were saying, like, you were talking to Latoya, I think, about, like, family and everything, and she was telling you that, like, you know, Janet, if you want to have kids, don't wait, you need to go ahead and have kids. If you want, do you think about that now? Do you want kids? Do you think about having kids more?
I do, and I will. I didn't before, but with Jermaine, I do.
What's your relationship like with his daughter?
She's too cute. She's smart. I like her. Sweet girl. I hope she likes me. I think she
What
likes
does she call you?
Janet.
What do you think, what's been the biggest obstacle with, like, kids? Just the timing, you haven't really wanted it, you weren't sure, it was the right time?
It was not wanting them. I didn't think I would have children, and I didn't want children in my past relationship. I didn't think I would even make a good parent if I had them. I just, or fearful that I wouldn't make a good parent.
How are you going to deal with your perfectionism being a parent? You can't really be, there's no impossible to be a perfect parent.
I know, but everyone tries to be the perfect parent, and you always fall short in some areas. You just have to do the best that you possibly can. I'm so trying not to think about that, but everyone says that I would make, it's so funny. Janet just said the other day, because she had to have surgery on her knee, she goes, oh my God, you're going to be such a good mom. And everyone has always told me that. Thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. Thank you.
Do you want to take a break while you eat?
No, I'm good. So, you don't want me crunching in your recorder?
All over
But I did want kids before, and being with Jermaine, it's changed me. I do. And his daughter's beautiful, Shania. She's very smart. Very smart.
You know, it's weird, I was thinking about, you know, obviously I watch a lot of Oprah, right? But, like, Oprah always talks about how, you know, we're drawn to people in terms of relationships that help us kind of reconcile things in our past, you know, what's going on. And I just thought it was really interesting how, kind of inadvertently, you know, because you talked about, like, on DeVita Joe, you didn't really want Jermaine to be involved and all this kind of stuff, and I thought it was interesting how, like, inadvertently you sort of had very public relationships with people that have also become very involved in your career, and then your dad is the one that started you on the whole career path anyway. I just thought that was really, what do you think about that?
About that relationship and the way I've started my relationships, personal relationships, and the relationship with my father. The way that I've started those relationships and the relationship with my father, who's the one who started.
Fascinating that, you know.
You know, there probably is something there, and I never looked at it like that. And then you're saying this one started off completely different.
Without being a part of music, him being involved in music, and now
look at where it is.
Yeah, and you know, he wasn't president of Virgin or anything. It wasn't any of even the circumstances, but it's like.
To me, that's what also makes me feel that it was meant to be, and that it was God. And just in the way that, which once again, I'm not going to go into because I want to keep certain things to myself. But just in the way we even actually got together, it was different.
Well, you met on someone to call your lover.
No. Jermaine and I met.
I mean, you didn't meet them, but that's where you kind of started connecting again or something.
Yeah, we did, and
he confirmed it's like, yeah, back right.
Yeah, we did.
And then,
what else did he tell you?
And then I want him to beat me up like that.
No, he said, I just want to see what he told you.
Well, so anyway, and then I guess he pursued you and you weren't really feeling it at first, right? Like, what was your initial, did he like ask you out or something? And why did you initially say no or initially kind of put him off?
Because I've I really didn't. I did not think that I would wind up being with someone.
Really? You thought you were gonna be alone?
Yep. Yeah, I really did. Thinking of myself as being like 85 or something already is the way it seemed at the time. You know, it was that moment, that space that I was in. I was like, okay, this is gonna be my life. This is it. I'm fine with it. But I was dating people, and I was okay with that. And I hadn't experienced that before, so it was good. It was good for me. It was like kind of a screwed up way to do it, but I was actually, at least I got the opportunity to experience something that I hadn't experienced before. So it was like being a kid again in a sense. And we actually became friends. He said he asked me out.
I'm not telling you what he said.
No, you did he say that he asked me out? And
I'm not telling you what he said. I protect people's privacy, that's all.
ooh, you are so wrong.
So anyway, so like, when did you like feel that moment? You know, like sometimes, because I feel like I'm the type of person that I would like to be more proactive about relationships. Like I wish I was the one that like initiated a lot of relationships. But when I look back and I have to be honest with myself, most of the people I've been involved with for a long period of time have been the people that actually pursued me. And I know that like there's this moment I think that I always feel like when I feel like my guard drops. You know what I mean? There's a moment when you kind of decide to let somebody in. And I feel like, what was that moment like for you where you said, okay, I'll take his BlackBerry, I'll answer, you know, say whatever, I'll get
But see, Jermaine denies this, but he was very slick about the situation. He got me a present for my birthday.
Okay.
And it was, well, he said it was an honest birthday present. And it was a two-way.
Okay.
Because someone had said my birthday was coming up and we were working on someone to call my lover. So he got me this for my birthday. So you have to exchange information. Right? You feel obligated to.
Right.
So that's how we started to become friends and got closer.
And was there a moment, I'll be into specific, but was there a moment when you felt like
This is right. Of course there was.
Was it a look? Was it a thing that he did? Was it a, you know what I mean? Like what? Did you just wake up one morning and you were like, wow, this is the way I want to feel for a while? You know what I mean? Like what?
It still wasn't just one. It didn't happen just one time. I felt like it happened more than once. Do you understand? Obviously, I'm making myself clear. It wasn't just at one moment I said, okay, yeah. It's like it kept saying yeah to me, but it was at different times. And I guess
of all the connections, all the things he was saying.
It was that. It was once something that he did. It was another time. It was just a moment that we shared, and I for myself shared even more so with him because I knew what was going through my head at that moment. And that's one of the reasons why I love Miami so much, because a major and important part of us actually, we spent a great deal of time in Miami.
Like, I think the first time I ever saw you all together was at Lisa Lopez's funeral. I think it was you and he
Yes.
and your mother.
Yes.
I just remember thinking, wow, that must be, and I think that was still very early in the relationship.
We were.
Or it was early, at least when it was public.
Oh, really?
I just thought like, wow, that must be, there has to be some connection between people to go to a funeral together. You know what I mean? That's such a weird thing. So that's what made me think that, wow, there must be really something to this, you know?
Well, you know what's really odd about that? We actually weren't together then.
Really?
We were talking and we were friends, but we weren't like together then.
Okay.
But what's really odd about it is I think a couple of people wanted to see us together that knew him for years and also knew me for years.
Okay.
Because not that long ago I had said to him, I brought that up, and he looked at me like I was crazy, unless Jermaine isn't telling me the truth. And he said, well, they told me that you wanted me to take you. And I said, they told me that you wanted me to go but didn't know how to ask me. And I said, what's the big deal? I said, I said, that's fine, I'll go. So I think they were kind of matchmaking because they had known both of us for a very long time. And one friend said, you really should meet Jermaine. He's such a sweet guy and this and that, and I think you'd really like him. And I was with someone at the time, but they were just talking about us as friends, but they may have been trying to matchmake then because they saw where my head was and where I was, and that I wasn't that happy, even though I was still moving along with it. So I think when I look at, you know what it is, when I look at Jermaine, I see myself. For a better way to explain, I feel like I'm looking right at me, like I'm looking in the mirror. That's the connection that I feel with him that I have never felt with anybody.
Do you think you're able to love him more because you love yourself more now, that you're more accepting of yourself? So like,
yes, but see, he's also a part of that. I know that there was a lot that I've learned about acceptance and how important it is, but still, there are moments when I have fallen, and you kind of fall back, and then for myself I have to kind of start over again with the whole importance in accepting myself and what?
Yeah, go ahead.
And to see the love that he has given me unconditionally, and how he accepts every thing about me, every inch of me.
Why are you smiling when you say inches?
You're a mess.
Anyway. Okay, well here's an interesting theory related to like what we were talking about, that Oprah thing that I was talking about, you know, that you were about like part of your career and stuff. Because it seems to me like, you know, you were a child star, of course, and I think just like, I can just imagine, again, I'm just speculating, you know, but it seems to me like if you're a child performer, you have to see kind of some of your worth in terms of like your performance, you know what I mean? Like you think, it seems like that would just be a natural thing, that part of your self-worth is wrapped up in how you are as a performer, you know? And so it just seems interesting to me now that like you're with somebody that is able to accept you as a performer, but is also able to accept you completely as a woman and everything you are outside of being a performer too. So it seems like that's like if you look at the theory that kind of you go into relationships in order to grow or in order to kind of reconcile things, like I can see how that could be kind of, you know.
I mean, even though you're not saying this, but also he's even experienced the same.
That's true, yeah.
Being a performer since he was a child, and it's like understanding both sides of your life, and me understanding his. It's coming from the same place.
By the inches thing.
No, see, no, that's you.
No, it's you. That's the only true lasting thing with art. That's the only thing that really lasted. Because she felt that even though human beings bring a lot to your life, you couldn't really depend on that. You couldn't have stock in that. Whereas
I think that was the love of her life.
Are you glad that's not just the love of yours? Like, are you glad you found?
I am happy because honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen for me. I really didn't. And I just thought, you know, some people go through life like this, and others, they're very fortunate in that way, very blessed, I should say, in that way. And I just thought, you know, God blessed me in other ways. And this is just something that's not meant to be for me, because it's the one thing that's one of the most important things to me, and one of the things that drives me the most.
What do you want me to ask you next? Have we talked enough about sex? Do you think this interview's sexy enough?
That's on you. This is your consent.
Alright, now show God. See that? You saved yourself by many.
You can have a real sex question.
That's it, right?
Alright,
think it is weirder asking somebody in a relationship about sex, you know, because it does feel more personal or something.
This is the one I was holding, yes? It's much easier for me to talk to you about me. Or when we're talking about, in the past, when we talked about the albums and the certain things, and, you know, I've talked about being a size queen with people in the past, with journalists, but now it's like being in a relationship, and now it's like these two people, then to have, like you said, to have that question asked, it's a little, it is a little, yeah. And I've never said, baby, do you mind if I talk about you in that kind of way? Does it bother you? I've never asked him. You might be getting me in trouble.
Anyway, I don't think, because, you know, you're so, like, obviously, you know, you talk about sex a lot, you obviously enjoy sex, but then you've also said that, you know, that you really didn't see your parents be intimate with each other a lot, you know? So it's like, how did you even learn about sex? Or how did you learn that that was something that you would like, or that was something to do, or to try, or to, you know, how did you learn to enjoy it?
I can't tell you the first way I learned about it. It was awful. At least I thought it was. It wasn't anything like it wasn't bad in that way. I'm using the word. I didn't know what I was watching when I first saw it. No, I didn't say that.
Your first time you saw somebody have sex.
Yes.
So you oversaw somebody.
Yes, I did.
That's why you're so into public sex.
And I couldn't figure out what the hell this was. And so I discussed it with a family member, and that's when they told me really about it. I had missed all my classes. Sex education. Yeah, I'm thank you.
Is this when you walked in on your parents or something?
Jack, can I bring you something?
No, I'm good, thank you. And I know everybody's probably, or most people have experienced that, but my brother spent a lot of time on the road, and I could not wait for them to come back, because I had so many questions. I couldn't figure, and the horrible thing about it is I should have known about it way before then.
You're like 13 or something, right?
Yeah, like 12, 11, something like that.
Who did you ask? Who told you about sex?
My brother Mike and I were very close at that time, so he's the one that kind of told me. Like I said, because of working, I didn't get those classes. I missed those classes, and I had a friend, a friend that would bring over books. That's a few years older than me. Would bring over these books. Sex books. Don't ask me where she got them. I have no clue. But we've been friends for years. She's still my friend. She's the one in the nasty video with the braids.
Okay. Well, you and Michael must have made an odd pair talking about sex, because he's written and talked so much about how he always felt weird, like watching. Your brothers were so much older when they were on tours that he would see them kind of get together with the groupies or something like that, and he didn't really know what's going on. So I think the two of you all must have been a mess.
Well, he's teaching me. Now don't forget, he's very young at this point too in his life. So he's teaching me whatever it is that he knows about it. You know, his little sister's asking, he's trying to help her out.
Right.
I've always been very affectionate though. And see, it's more than, I hate calling it sex to a certain degree, because it's more of a love thing for me.
Okay.
It's like I love passion. Ever since I was younger, I remember I loved seeing people kiss on television. I loved seeing all that stuff. My mother told me that out of all the kids, I was the only one that would constantly say I love you to everybody and just kiss on them. So I've always been that kind of a kid. And I don't think I've ever really changed. It's just not everybody.
No, I'm just wondering, I just can't, can you imagine because you're saying, you would have, these conversations with Michael about sex, can you imagine any circumstance if you'd have, an in-depth conversation about sex with him now? Would that ever come up?
We wanted to check it out later. You never know.
No. I think he'd be too embarrassed.
Yeah, because it would be so weird.
I
You're older.
yeah, I think he'd really be embarrassed. I really do. But it was just one conversation we had. We never had it again.
Well, I mean, has your family kind of finally made peace with the sexuality that you put out there in the... Because I know at one point your mother had asked you not to be as...
I know. I don't know. I think they just said, you know what? Just let her go. God help her. No, I think they've just come to realize that this is who I am.
Okay.
And I'm not going to change unless I want to, and I'm happy with who I am. And I wouldn't try and change them if it's something that they're not harming anybody and they're...
What's your best wish for your mother? Like, what's the best?
Wish for my mother? I just wanted to have happiness. Just happiness and to enjoy life. Stress-free.
Is she stressed out a lot?
I don't have kids,
Okay.
but having 9 kids and being under scrutiny a lot and reading things all the time, I can't imagine it not stressing her out. And I can't, she's been through a lot. She's been, you know, every time someone sees a family member go through something, they have to understand we all go through it as a family. It hurts all of us, and especially my parents, and especially my mother.
Right.
And she's been through a lot, and she's a very strong woman. So I just want her to have bliss. And she's good right now.
Great.
She's very good right now.
That's great. How do you decide? Because I mean, you know, you're obviously doing very well, and you know, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. There's like a couple of people in every family that do really well, and obviously not everybody can be doing as well. You know what I mean? So I was wondering, like, how do you decide, like, if somebody's going through a problem, like when to help them out, maybe whether it's financially or whatever, or when to just say, you know, this person needs to learn this lesson on their own. Like, how do you decide that, you know, when dealing with family members and those kind of demands and everything?
Wow.
Oh, is that a deep question?
No, it's not a deep question. I'm just trying to figure out the last one. I'll always be there for my family, and I know they'll always be there for me. And we communicate. We talk. I've never felt that it's ever come to that point.
Oh, really? Okay. So you don't find yourself having to make hard decisions, or you know?
Maybe a couple of times, but that's where the communication comes in. And respect. And then respecting whatever your decision is that you've made.
Okay.
And understanding too, because you know, I've seen even with friendships fall apart because of certain situations, but it shouldn't be about that. The love goes beyond that.
One time you talked about having a fear of going broke. Do you still have a fear of going broke?
No.
Did your family used to talk about like the hard times and stuff?
It's not a fear. I mean, it's not a fear the way that used to be. It's something that still, because it happened a lot in this industry with people in this industry. But it's not something that I think about the way I used to think about.
Some of your first brushes were on Barry Manilow and Teddy Pendergrass. What was that all about?
I hate you for doing your research.
I told you, I'm a PhD.
What do you mean, what was that about? I was like 7 years old.
What did you find attractive about Barry Manilow?
I have no clue. I don't know. I just remember that I used to kiss the screen when I saw him on TV. Now with Teddy Pendergrass, whole different story.
Okay, so what was that about?
It was about everything. And he,
Do the deed?
what?
I said you wanted to do the deed?
He was very much so in love with my sister.
Really?
Yeah, now I'm telling her drama. I'm just spilling her. I shouldn't be talking about other people because this is about me, but he liked my sister very much.
And you kind of liked him?
It just happened out of it. It's just I would see him once in a while.
Okay.
Once in a while. I wouldn't see him all the time or anything like that.
So what would you think when he was over? Like, would you be trying to talk to
Nothing.
him?
I'm a baby. I'm a little baby. I'm a kid. But you know what? The weird thing about it is, it's like I really had a major crush. That was serious though. That was like a deep thing with Teddy Pendergrass for me as a kid. I mean, even though it's still light.
What did it feel like? Like, what was so deep?
I never saw myself as when I thought about him, I never saw myself as a kid. I saw myself as an adult.
And what were the two of you all doing?
Having a good time. We were having a good time. Come on. We were doing adult things. I still was very young and very innocent, and it was very innocent still. That's not innocent. No, but I'm asking you a question. I know I'm asking. No, I'm serious. That is innocent, isn't it?
I mean, I think sex. I think if sex comes from the purest place of all, and you could be doing the craziest thing.
Well, but still. And sex is innocent?
I think so. I think if sex is coming from the purest place, I think it's innocent because I think ultimately sex is about connection, and I don't think there's any more honest or human emotion than wanting to connect with another person. Yeah. Sometimes that means putting things inside of it. Anyway. What?
You're a mess.
Let's talk about some rumors. Let's clear some stuff out. What? Am I clenched up?
No, you're a mess.
I'll just anyway. Did you ever go on a date with Bob Brown?
No. On a date? No.
Did he ask you out? Did you hang out with him? Was he trying to get with you? You can check out. Yeah, you can check out.
I thought you were going to ask me one question and move on. I knew that he had liked me. He had mentioned it on a couple of shows. We never went out.
Did he ask you out and you said no? Or?
I'm really trying to remember.
Well, you know you ain't go, so that means something.
I know. I'm just trying to remember if he ever asked me, though. I don't remember him asking me, but I can't say that he didn't.
I know the last time we talked, like, one of the things that they made me ask you was just about all the baby stuff. So I was really surprised when that resurfaced, because I thought that was really old. Like, how did you feel when that came back up?
I just felt it was someone trying to get attention. What bothered me about it, more so than anything, because they were involving my niece, and I just look at if it's something between you and I, then it's between you and I. Don't bring someone else into this and bring someone else's name into this. And And I'm just thankful that she's a strong girl, or woman, I should say.
Oh, because they're actually, because Ruby does actually have a daughter that's around the same age.
No, see I think they were saying it's my brother Jackie's daughter.
Oh, okay.
But see, the thing about it is, my brother Jackie's daughter, and this is probably what made them think. A few times they thought I had a child. I remember when I was at the MTV Awards, and I had a little boy sitting in my lap before I went to present an award, but it was a friend's son.
Oh, okay.
So they said, oh, that must be her little boy. And he's an adult now, but the thing with my niece is a couple of times, like when I did the Let's Wait a While video, she came and visited me, and she was with me during that time. So a couple of times, she's...
Is she the one on the Dream Street album? Is she all dressed alike? What is that? No, act like you don't know your own.
I swear to you, I do
In
not...
the Dream Street album, if you pull it out, there's a picture of you, you're dressed in like black, and you're sitting, there's a little girl sitting with you.
Oh my God.
You need to get a copy of your album.
I do not know the photograph. Is her hair curly?
Your hair is exactly the same. Your hair is like straight, and her hair, and you all are dressed identically. You're both wearing like black tuxedo jackets. Go to Tower Records and buy
Oh my God, this is awful. I don't even remember the picture.
Because there's two pictures. There's a picture in like you're like this pink sweater or some kind of something. And then there's, on the other side there's a picture of you with the little girl. And I just thought of it when you said you know.
I don't remember the photograph, but I did take a photograph with her. Kenny Rogers took a photograph of us.
Okay.
She and I together. That's why I was thinking, wait a minute, did we do one in a black thing? But that was way past that, because that was toward Control and all that.
Get a copy of your album on.
I really do need to.
I used to love that album when I was a teenager.
You did?
Yeah, I used to love Dream Street. I loved It Takes All Night. I loved, what were the Jesse Johnson songs? Like,
Oh,
I love that.
and Fast Girls,
Fast Girls, yeah.
I liked.
The remixes.
Yeah, I like that too.
I like Don't Stand Another Chance. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I liked that too.
So I guess back to
No, I know who you're talking about. That's my niece Autumn.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Jermaine's daughter.
Oh, okay.
With the tuxedo. That's Jermaine's daughter.
Thank God, I was worried about you.
Okay.
So you never said this about Bobby Brown. Okay. He just turns me on. I love his butt.
No, I've never said
I'm
that.
saying that with a quote somewhere.
Where?
Somewhere that I came across.
No, I've never said that.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, because I'd asked you one of these questions about like advice you give to people.
Yes.
Says the girl deciding to sleep with the guy for the first time. What would you say to somebody about recovering from like an embarrassing situation? What would you say? Do you think it's
Oh God. Recovering from an embarrassing situation, you can't let it get you down. You have to keep your head up and keep moving. I guess I could say more depending upon the situation. Everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason for it happening, and you just have to keep a positive head.
I don't like any of those ones.
These are questions that you wrote?
What?
No, I'm just asking.
What do you think I have a stenographer or something?
No, I don't.
These other ones are too nasty.
Let me just read one of your two nasty ones, no, because I want to see where your head's at.
My head. You can't out-think me.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm not even trying to. I just want. I'm sure I can't.
Either I ask it or you don't get to see it. What things about your life make you feel most grateful? And I think I pretty much know the answer to that now.
Because it would be Jermaine. Is that what you're doing?
I
Saying?
think, but I didn't say I know.
What is the thing that about my life that makes me feel most
Things you can make it plural.
grateful? It would be Jermaine. No, honestly, it would be. And I tell him all the time. I thank God for him.
What is your best wish for Jermaine?
That he's happy. And that he...
Not happy now.
No, I don't think that he's not happy now, but that he just gets everything in life that he wants because he deserves it.
Yeah.
And that he's happy. I wish for all those who I love to be happy and obviously have their health, but
Also, you have your gun.
do I need it?
No, I was going to ask you when you were the one who started the breath thing.
Hold on 1 second. You might want to pause this.
Okay. Hysterical to listen to. But, what's your best wish for Janet?
So to remain, to be in this space and beyond. If there's something that's beyond this,
Is there or not?
what?
Is there or not?
I don't know. I really don't.
You obviously think there is. I mean, it seems like you think there is.
I don't know. I mean, I guess only God would be able to tell me that. So if there is, then for it to come my way, our way. And if this is it, I just want this to stay because I'm very blessed with this. Very. It's. I feel like I keep repeating myself, but.
That's what fast forwards
But it is. People say that they just see. They would see my eyes in the past, and they'd see something different, and they see it now. It's completely different, and that's the way that I feel. I'm happy.
But then she seems sad the last time I talked to you. Not just sitting there sad, but there's
No,
an
people
underlying sadness.
people say that. That's what I'm talking about. People always talk about this regardless of me smiling, there's an underlying sadness, and it's not there now.
Talk a little bit about control stuff since this 20th anniversary. Like, how does your understanding of just the concept of control change over the last 20 years and what it means to be in control? You know what I mean?
I mean, you have control to a certain degree. You can do all that you possibly can for a situation. And it's really, it's in God's hands. Let me say that. I should re-say that. There's only so much that you can do for whatever it is. And that's the control that you have. And the decisions that you have to make. It's in God's hands, and He's the one with all the control.
When in your life have you felt the most in control?
Yeah, no, I know. I had it before.
I would say now, in my life.
When did you feel the most out of control?
I would say, which I can't talk about, but I would say going through a period of thank you. Through the period of my divorce and the whole breakup and all of that.
What advice would you give Janet, who's just about to go to Minneapolis to make control? What would you tell her about that, or just about what she's going to experience throughout her career, what's going to happen to her?
I would tell her to enjoy every single moment, not to take things so literal.
Did Michael used to tell you that?
About enjoying every moment. And it's all going to be okay. Life's going to be okay.
So I hope you enjoyed the interview. Now I just wanted to just reflect a little bit about what was going on at the time a little bit more. And just to give you some context of how the interview came about and everything like that. It was a typical big celebrity interview, which by I mean that it was rescheduled, a zillion times. At one point, I was supposed to eat breakfast with her at the Trump Hotel in New York. Then it got moved to Miami. So there was just a bunch of stuff. But basically how the Miami thing went down, well, actually first, about a week before the Miami interview took place, Virgin, which was her record company at the time, flew me to Atlanta so that Jermaine Dupri could play me the album because they weren't letting copies of the album out anywhere. He was the only person with a copy of it, so he had to physically play it for me. So I went to his studio, Southside Studios. And it was kind of funny because at one time he was playing one song, and I guess he was trying to set the context of how, sexy she was sounding and stuff. So he put this picture of her in a bikini in front of me, and he was like, man, when you hear this song, I just want you to look at this picture. I just want you to stare at this picture. And the whole time I'm thinking, gee, I guess he doesn't know that I'm gay, because really this picture, I like the song and all, but this picture really isn't doing anything for me. So it was just awkward. I had to sit there for like 4 minutes and stare at this picture of her in bikini, and he was like staring at me, staring at the picture. It was just very awkward, but that's pretty much the most memorable thing from the listening session. But anyway, for the Miami interview, I flew into Miami on a Friday, and that night I met her at a club, one of the big South Beach clubs, and it was basically, I wasn't really talking to her that much. It was basically just, she was kind of hanging out with all of her dancers, the dancers that she had hired for the promo tour and stuff. And so it was just kind of like time to watch her with her dancers and stuff. But to be honest, it got boring after a while, and I just, said later, and I went to, a gay club there and had a really nice time. But anyway, so the next day is when the interview took place, when I was flying back with her from Miami to New York. So that was kind of the context of that. And the questions that people typically ask me about the interview, people always want to know what she was wearing. And she was very low-key. I think she had a sweater on, which she later took off because it got kind of hot on the plane. But she had a sweater on, and then she was just wearing a graphic tee, that were kind of big in 2006. I actually don't even remember what it said or if it had any significant. I know it didn't say anything. It was just like one of those graphic tees. And then she was wearing a pair of True Religions, which of course, because it was 2006 and that's what people still wore them then. And it was funny because I immediately, when I got back I was living in Providence at the time, Providence, Rhode Island. And when I got back to Providence, I immediately went to Nordstrom's and bought myself a pair. So anyway, that I guess was the True Religion heyday. And at one point, you might hear her requesting things of the flight attendant. The flight attendant prepared just a regular kind of, I think it was like an arugula salad for her with some lemon and olive oil, and that's when she asked for a lot of pepper. So you might have heard that in the interview. That's what that was all about. And honestly, the most memorable thing about the entire interview is what I'm about to tell you now. And I've only really ever told this story to a couple of friends, but this was the most memorable thing. And this was also the reason why that I think that Janet is pretty cool and classy. Because, so we're talking over a table and everything like that. And as you've heard, I mean, the interview went on for hours, and I'm probably talking more than she is. And as you're talking, your mouth can get kind of dry and anyway, and stuff, So anyway, so I'm talking, I asked a question, and it's like my mouth was really dry, and like I could like feel like just, like a little piece of spit coming out of my mouth. And then, it kind of like flew across the table and landed on the table. And it was like it was in slow motion, and I just wanted to go like, no, as I watched the spit fly across the table. And it's like, she saw it, I saw it, but it was one of those awkward things, and you really didn't want to acknowledge it. So, a couple of seconds passed, and, at some point she had a napkin that, the napkin that she was using when she was eating. She wasn't eating at the time. I didn't spit on her food. That would have been really, really gross. But anyway, she still had the napkin there. So at one point, just while she was talking casually, she just like dropped the napkin on top of the, spit, and then just kind of like wiped it off very subtly and just balled up the napkin and threw it away. So I thought that was a really classy way to deal with the situation. Of course, I was still mortified, but it was just one of those things. And that's, again, the most memorable incident from the entire interview. That's the thing that really stays with me. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the interview, and thanks for listening and for signing up to my mailing list. I'll let you know about new projects that I have and when I put out other interviews. And be sure to check out my memoir, All I Could Bear, and you can find out the whole story about how I became a celebrity interviewer and the other celebrities I've interviewed and stuff like that. So again, thank you very much. Take care.